So the Arizona Cardinals fall to who the heck did they play? The Arizona Cardinals fall to the Indianapolis Colts on the road yesterday, 31-27, in a game that I called. Like, in a game that I perfectly encapsulated correctly on either Friday or the Wednesday edition of the Ben Garcia Show. I had told you guys, I don't think it mattered if Kyler Murray started in this game. I don't think it mattered if Jacoby Brissett started in this game. No matter what, I was always taking the Indianapolis Colts to beat the Arizona Cardinals. However, I was always on the side of this game was going to be close. I never thought the Cardinals were going to win, but I thought it was going to be a fairly close matchup. And the reasoning for that was always this was a throw everything in the kitchen sink at them game. Meaning the Cardinals season is kind of spiraling down the drain. I know some people will try to lie to you, I think, and tell you that they think this team could still make the playoffs. I will not do that to you. This team's playoff hopes are zero right now. It's not happening. And I said that this was a throw everything in the kitchen sink at them game. What does that mean? The most shots downfield I thought we were going to see. I think you'd see the most exotic blitzes, the best defensive performance. And I think that is also true because if Arizona Cardinals defensive backs could catch, this team would have won this game by probably 2 scores. But Budda Baker dropped one. Someone else dropped another one. Daniel Jones was erratic at times. Like, he had a good game overall. The statistics say so. But if you watch that game, Daniel Jones was erratic at times. There were some times where he was starting to look like New York Giants Daniel Jones. And I think that's kind of indisputable. However, that's not what the biggest story of the game was. I always thought the game was going to be close. I never thought the Cardinals would win. But I thought you'd see the best version of the Arizona Cardinals on display yesterday. And I know people are going after the defense, but again, I'm not surprised. I've been saying this for weeks. You cannot be a team that is so predicated on the defensive side of the ball in 2025. The NFL is offensive driven. You can bring in a defensive head coach. You can bring in good defensive showstoppers. But at the end of the day, defense no longer wins championships. Put the ball put the money and the assets on the offensive side of the ball. They will pay dividends, and hopefully your defense can keep the opposing offense at bay for the most part. And here's what happens. When you play a really good offense like the Indianapolis Colts are, who are loaded everywhere, they are just going to get theirs. And if the Cardinals defensive backs could catch, they probably do hold the Colts to 24 points, which I thought would have been miraculous, given how good the Colts have been over the last couple of weeks. But that's not it. Like, I figured that this was going to be the case. And my guy Chill Peasy in the chat, we forced a punt in the fourth quarter we haven't forced a punt in the fourth quarter since week 1. Exactly. But also, the Colts have punted like 8 times this year, and 4 of them were against the Cardinals. So, like, they did hold up their end of the weight for the most part. I won't sit here and say that the defense was the reason why they lost this game. I don't have those expectations. If you do, then maybe you can blame them. I don't. But that's another thing. Every single time, we'll get to the quarterback controversy in just a second because I want to talk about Jacoby Brissett. Every single time the Arizona Cardinals have needed a stop, Jonathan Gannon's defense has failed them, which is a philosophical mistake on Jonathan Gannon's part for trying to tell us that his defense will do everything and more to stop the opposing team. That's not the case. Ever since week 2 in that Panthers game, the Arizona Cardinals defense against the Niners, against Seattle, against the Colts, against the Titans, when they needed a stop, they were unable to get it. Because in this league, offense rules, no longer defense. But again, the top story of yesterday is the Jacoby Brissett, Kyler Murray controversy. Jacoby Brissett looked better than Kyler Murray has looked in this Arizona Cardinals offense since the Miami Dolphins game last year. Drew Petzing, in his career, has had 2 300-yard passers. Both of them were Kyler Murray, and now he's got one other one, Jacoby Brissett. So we blame Drew Petzing's offense. But for the first time since the Miami Dolphins game last year, the Arizona Cardinals had a 300-yard passer. And it wasn't the Cardinals were down big and they were able to rack up cheap garbage yards. That wasn't the case. Jacoby Brissett was slicing and dicing. I tweeted out, and if you want to follow me on all platforms at Ben Garcia Show, you can follow along there. But I tweeted out at halftime, anyone who's telling you this offense looks drastically better with Jacoby Brissett than Kyler Murray is lying to you. And then the second half woke up, and the Cardinals offense looked awesome each and every drive, even the drive that they didn't score a touchdown at the end of the game. They looked awesome. And so it begs the question, is this offense just better suited for Jacoby Brissett than it is for Kyler Murray? And is it not so much Drew Petzing's fault? We'll answer that question. But regardless of anything, Jacoby Brissett has earned the right to start for the Arizona Cardinals next week against the Green Bay Packers, no matter what. Going up against one of the best teams in the NFL in the Indianapolis Colts, who have been a buzzsaw all year long, with no Marvin Harrison Jr. for most of that game. Trey Benson, James Conner, they're all out. The defensive side of the ball has got numerous injuries. Jacoby Brissett went in there and was the better quarterback in that game. In fact, they probably should have won that game. And so for all those reasons, and not to mention the first 300-yard passer since the Miami Dolphins game last year, nearly a full calendar year ago, Jacoby Brissett has earned the right to start against the Green Bay Packers. Kyler Murray's had his chance. He's had multiple weeks to wow us. And it is baffling to me that someone with the talent of Kyler Murray cannot work through this offense. But Jacoby Brissett showed through one game he could. And I think some of it is a mirage. I think some of it is Jacoby Brissett is not this good. Guys, I have a decade worth of data to show you. Jacoby Brissett as the long-term starter in the NFL is not a good player. I don't think that overnight he revolutionized his career, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, or even Geno Smith style. I don't think he did that. But he's earned the right. And we need to see if this past week was a mirage. Well, maybe Jacoby Brissett wasn't that good. Maybe the Colts just kind of took the day off. The defense kind of felt for themselves, yeah, it's Jacoby Brissett. We're going to be able to coast through this one and win. And maybe Jacoby Brissett caught him off guard. And all week, the Colts were preparing for Kyler Murray, but they got Jacoby Brissett instead. Like, you can buy into all that. Also, you can add into that, it's a do or die game. Everyone knows they have to play their best game, or the Cardinals probably aren't making the playoffs. So I think when you factor all those things in, you could say to yourself that maybe it was a mirage for Jacoby Brissett. But that doesn't matter. I want to figure out if it was. Because I know what this offense looks like for Kyler Murray. It's anemic. It's conservative. He does not take shots downfield. I think he's scared to get hit. Multiple times in this game, Jacoby Brissett hung in there, took a lick, and found a guy in the middle of the field. Like, that is something. And I know people are frustrated. I saw this tweet, and it drives me crazy. It's okay to just say the 3 words, I was wrong. I did that yesterday. Cardinals offense looked terrible in the first half. I made fun of people who said that the offense looked good. And I quote tweeted it later and said, yeah, nice tweet, idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. It's okay to just say you were wrong. There's no shame in that. But the Kyler Murray defenders, what leg do you have to stand on today? I saw Ron Wolfley tweet out, and again, I'm not going after anyone in particular. This is all sports. But I saw Ron Wolfley tweet out something about like Jacoby Brissett objectively ran the offense better than Kyler Murray today. And he kind of went on and talked, but like he never said in that tweet, Kyler Murray is a worse quarterback than Jacoby Brissett. Kyle Odegaard then quote tweets it and was like, add this to the list of backup quarterbacks that everyone's saying is better than Kyler. And I tweeted back at that. I was like, what are we doing? No reasonable person in the chat, on Twitter, myself, thinks that Jacoby Brissett is a better quarterback or more talented quarterback than Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's talent is absolutely insane. He will make plays Jacoby Brissett will never make. But I think the lesson is talent only goes so far. Talent only goes so far. And Kyler Murray's got a lot of talent. But there's been questions about his work ethic. There's been questions about his leadership. There's been questions about his maturity. Like, I think Kyler is more committed than these guys, but Caleb Williams is talented. Is he committed? Jamarcus Russell was talented. Is he committed? Josh Rosen was talented. Is he committed? I don't know if Kyler Murray is fully committed. I also think, indisputable yesterday, that the players played harder for Jacoby Brissett. Do you want to know why? Because the thing that I've been talking about for a few weeks now, Kyler Murray is scared to get hit. He hates it. He disdains it. He has a strong disdain for getting hit. And when Kyler Murray's injury came out on Saturday night, which, by the way, side note, Michael Bidwell, you are such an incompetent buffoon. Of course, the injury report for Kyler Murray came out on Saturday. Guys, he has a Liz Frank injury. He was never playing. But, classic Michael Bidwell to news dump that on Saturday to ease the blow. And we have to ease the blow because we got to talk about this game. It is, it looked like to me what the numerous times Kyler Murray has thrown the ball into an intentional grounding, or I guess I should say the numerous times Kyler Murray has committed an intentional grounding penalty because he's scared to get hit. The amount of times he doesn't fight for a first down because there's a player right in front of him and he's scared to get hit. The questions about his toughness. Is he willing to lay his body on the line for the players around him? I think all those things caught up to Kyler yesterday. Because Jacoby Brissett, I actually was curious. I was like, man, does this offensive line just stink? This guy keeps getting knocked down. And then the game continued to progress. Numerous times, Jacoby Brissett was knocked down and he found guys over the middle. Numerous times, he took a look straight to the face and hung into the pocket and found a guy. Players want to play for that kind of player. I don't think players want to play for Kyler Murray. I don't think so. You're looking around the league and you're seeing Josh Allen and Baker Mayfield and these other quarterbacks put their body on the line for the players around them, even though they make the most money. And consistently, Kyler Murray does not do that. Jacoby Brissett did yesterday, and I thought the players rewarded him for it. The other thing was, Kyler Murray never throws the ball in the middle of the field. And I think this is score one for everyone that says Kyler Murray is too small to play in the NFL. No one's calling him short or, making fun of his height. It's just a matter of fact. Kyler Murray, I think, is too short to play in the NFL. Too many times we see passes batted down and throws not further than 5 yards past line of scrimmage in the middle of the field. And yesterday was very refreshing to see those things come to fruition. I don't know why it's so hard for people to say that are massive Kyler Murray guys. They see the talent, they see the potential, they don't want to give up, and can't just say to themselves, but Jacoby Brissett looked a lot better yesterday. He did. And regardless of Kyler Murray's health next week, Jacoby Brissett has earned the right to start. We need to see if that was a mirage. We need to see if that was just every player buckling their chin strap, trying to save the season. The Colts defense was caught off guard by Jacoby Brissett, or if this was the real thing. It was refreshing to see a quarterback throw strikes down the middle of the field and not question his toughness because he's committing intentional grounding penalties, oftentimes like Kyler Murray does, because he's scared to get hit. Kyler Murray is talented, and he's the better quarterback than Jacoby Brissett. But talent only goes so far in this league. It only goes so far in this league. Jacoby Brissett has earned the right to start next week. The offense has never looked better until Jacoby Brissett went under center and showed everyone it's not that hard. So I'm willing to say to everyone, this week might have been a fluke, and it very well might have been. but the season is quickly spiraling down the drain. I'm going with the hot hand. And I'm also rewarding the player in Jacoby Brissett and rewarding the players around him. You think after what you saw yesterday, players aren't saying to themselves, God, we got to start this Jacoby Brissett guy. We can't start Kyler. We can't start Kyler. It'd be a slap in the face to those players. And listen, my guy Aaron in the chat, heart and grit will always show up when talent doesn't. How many times do we question if Kyler Murray even likes being an NFL quarterback? And Jacoby Brissett was accurate. He was on time. He found dudes over the middle of the field. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. You can be the biggest Kyler Murray defender and still say he's the more talented and the better quarterback, but also say in the same breath, yeah, but Jacoby Brissett was better of the offense yesterday. He was better with the offense yesterday than Kyler Murray has been. And I can't believe so many people have a hard time just saying you were wrong. Because I was wrong. I'm not saying Jacoby Brissett is better. I'm not saying he's more talented. Kyler's got more talent in his hand than Jacoby Brissett probably has in his whole body. But Jacoby Brissett has a want to, has a give a bleep, if you will. Kyler doesn't have that. Kyler doesn't have that. And it was the first time yesterday where I said to myself, I don't know if Kyler Murray is going to work in the NFL. It should have hit me a lot sooner. But I was giving it time. And you guys made fun of me. Why are you still in on Kyler last week? I'm like, it's the middle of the season. Like, I got content I got to do. Let me get till Thanksgiving. And then I'll tell you if I'm out on Kyler. Like, look at me today. You think I'm sitting here telling you guys are all wrong? You're not. Jacoby Brissett was better. And it's the first time I said to myself, I was like, I don't know if Kyler's going to work. Might be best to trade him, get what you can out of him. Like, seriously, even the Vikings. You got to have some heart. You got to have some grit, like Aaron is saying in the chat. You got to be able to have a guy that can hang in there and take hits and throw guys open. Kyler doesn't have that. Kyler just simply doesn't have that, guys. And I just seriously struggle with the fact if that can work in the NFL for 17 straight games. But at the end of the day, because of what we saw, this is Jacoby Brissett's team now until further notice. And if Jacoby Brissett is just so-so next week against the Packers, you're like, okay, yeah, Jacoby Brissett's not very good. And we can give the reins back to Kyler Murray, let him get healthy. We'll come back after the bye week. He can play the Dallas Cowboys on the road on Monday Night Football. But here's the other thing. I don't want to say, like, it sucks, man, because, like, I have to do content, and I don't want people to check out. Because there is still things that we need to learn from the season. But, like, it's done. It's done. The Cardinals aren't beating the Packers next week. And they're not making the playoffs. And Jacoby Brissett as the long-term starter is also a bad place to be. I've got a decade worth of data to show you. Jacoby Brissett is not a good starting quarterback in the NFL for long stretches. Really good spot starter, good backup. Those are valuable. But nah, he's not a good starter. He's not. I can show you that. Browns, Colts, Patriots, like he can't do it for long stretches. So, it sucks, man. Like I don't think the Cardinals are in a great place either way, because, here comes the draft. Are you going to be high enough in the draft to select a Ty Simpson, or are you going to be forced to take a Sam Levitt in the second round? Like, it's not a great place to be. The quarterbacks in this draft are not great, and we thought it was going to be better. So you can wave your flag for the Jacoby Brissett thing, but he's not a good starting quarterback. He's just not a good starting quarterback for long stretches of time. But for now, he's earned the right to start, and we'll give it back to Kyler if we have to. But for right now, we're not doing that.